When, when a nut is hard to crack, the jaws do not complain. Welcome to Surah 43, and that is Surah to Zuhruf. And Zuhruf means gold adornment. Introduction and summary. You can find this on page 1495. Under it, Revelation makes things clear, semicolon. Mock not God's signs, nor attribute false qualities or any partners to him God. Follow guidance rather than ancestral ways. Text and notes can be found on pages 1496 to 1502. And that will be signs 1 to 25. If Arabs if Arabs go to ancestors, let them follow Abraham. If Arabs go to ancestors, let them follow Abraham. Semicolon. Spiritual wealth, not in gold or silver. Yes, as the roof. Spiritual, let me repeat it. Spiritual wealth, not in gold or silver. Semicolon. If Israel goes to Moses, he was mocked by Pharaoh, but Pharaoh perished. So stop mocking people. If you mock people, it's no good. Hmm? People who have done nothing to you, even if they do something to you, do not mock them. Hmm? Text and notes will be found in Science 26 to 56, and that will be pages 1502 to 1510. Under it, if Christians go to Jesus, okay, if Christians go to Jesus, he preached the one true God, semicolon, dispute not, semicolon. Truth has come and must prevail. Text and notes can be found in Science 57 to 89, and that's pages 1510 to 1517. We go to the next chapter, and that is Duhan. And Duhan is smoke or mist. Let me find out. Yes, smoke or mist. That's Duhan. Uh, Introduction to summary can be found on page 1518. Under it, we have Revelation is a blessing to mankind, as it warns against evil. Pardon me. Even with Revelation, you can see the amount of evil that goes on. So, as it warns against evil, semicolon, Pharaoh's men resisted in arrogance, comma, but their power and glory departed and wept. And wept is UNWEPT. But their power and glory departed and wept. Text and notes can be found in Science 1 to 29. And this is on page 1519 up to 1524. As Rav continued, that's Surah 44. If Israel fell in their trial, can Quraysh escape their doom for sin? Can Quraysh escape their doom for sin? So you see, the Arabs refused to follow Abraham. The Jews refused to follow Moses. and the Christians refuse to follow Jesus, or either refuse or resisted. Mm. So, if Israel fell in their trial, can courage escape their doom or sin? Is the question. Then a question mark. World created for just ends, not for nothing. Semicolon. Good and evil will be sorted out. In this world, they are not. Very difficult to sort out. With God, it's very easy. Very, 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 very easy. Eh? Like my physics master would say, Mr. Caswell. Uh, and good, evil will be sorted out. Yes. Text and notes can be found in Science 30 to Science 59 inclusive on pages 1524 to 1529. We go to the next chapter, which is Jathia. Jathia, I think, bound down to the knees. Let me find out. Yes, no, no. Yes, Jathia, bowing the knees. Jathia is bowing the knees. Introduction and summary can be found on page 1530. Under it, accept signs of God. Mm, Accept signs of God and follow guidance. Forgive weaker brethren. Semicolon. Form no sex. Form no sex. Religious sex is there in Christianity, is there in Islam. Form no sex, nor follow vain desire, comma. Glory of God. Text and notes can be found in Science 1 to 37. Hmm. Pardon me, I have a cold and it's persistent. Hmm. Uh, Text and notes can be found in Science 1 to 47 to 37 on pages 1531 to 1541. That's those who have my version of the Quran. Okay, I think that's all. Text and notes can be found on 1531 to 1541. We go to the next surah, which is 46, which is Ahkaf. Ahkaf, yes, whining sun. Aska, Al-Ahkaf is whining sand. Whining sand. Introduction and summary can be found on page 1542. Under it, creation is for just ends. This is repeated. The world is not created but for just ends. And it's repeated here. Creation is for just ends. Creation is for just ends. God didn't just make creation for nothing. He has an aim. We don't know. And we never ask, except a few who ponder in their minds, why is the world created at all? Why are people created at all? Here we are told by the commentator, creation is for just ends, semicolon. Learn the truth and serve God, semicolon. Be kind to parents, semicolon. Evil will be undone, semicolon. Learn patient perseverance. Text and notes, Science 1 to 35 of Akaf, that's the whining sun. We go to the next chapter, which is Surah Al-Muhammad, that's chapter 47. Surah Al-Muhammad, Surah devoted to Muhammad. You see the Quran, a beautiful book. Surah devoted to Virgin Mary, Maryam, Surah devoted to Muhammad, Surah devoted to Abraham. Okay, or chapter or Surah. Introduction and summary can be found on page 1558. Under it, believe in revelation and follow not vanities, which will be destroyed. In fact, vanities include wealth, hmm, buildings, cars, whatnot, properties, all kinds of properties. They were destroyed. Like it, when we are here, we see them being destroyed. Hmm? The cars that we love, cherish so much before you're here, before you realize, actually, bam, it becomes metal, mangled metal. Hmm? Okay, which will be which will be destroyed. Hmm? God will guide. Text and notes will be found on pages 1559 to 1565, and that will be Science 1 to 19. Under it, in fighting for truth, there is no room for faint-heartedness. For heartedness. Hmm? In fighting for truth, there is no room for faint-heartedness. Let your heart be solid, when you're fighting for truth. Hmm? Semicolon. Strive your utmost and forgive yourself generously. Strive your utmost and give yourself generously when fighting for the truth. Hmm? Text and notes will be found in Science 20 to 38 on pages 1565 to 1571. Hmm? We go to the next sign. That was for 47. We'll go to the next sign, which is 48, and that is Al-Fatih. Al-Fatih. And Al-Fatih means victory. Hmm? Al-Fatih means victory. Introduction and notes will be found on pages 1572 to 1573. Victory and help, conditions for and against victory and help. Hmm? You don't get victory from God for nothing. There are conditions. Hmm? Semicolon. True fealty. In case I don't pronounce this well, fealty is spelled Fealty. Fealty is spelled Fealty. So true fealty, or some may say fealty. True fealty, patience, and patient, patient and self-restraint. True fealty, patience, and self-restraint. Semicolon. Strength and gentleness. Semicolon. Hmm? If you are gentle, you have to be. If you are strong, you still have to combine it with gentleness. Strength and gentleness. Semicolon. Hudei, Hudebia. Hudebia. Text and notes will be found in Science 1 to 29 on pages 1574 to 1586. Pardon me, I have to continue because I don't know when this school will finish. Only God the Almighty knows. Okay. Text and notes will be found in Science 1 to 29 on page 1574 to 1586. We go to the next chapter, which is 49, and it's called Hujrat. Hujrat. 1549. Hujrat is inner apartment. Hujrat is inner apartment. And I can remember right away when Muhammad's people were warned not to shout his name from outside. They were primitive in those days. And they didn't see him as a prophet, they just saw him as an ordinary person. They would just come and stand outside and say, "Hey, Muhammad, are you there?" Something like that. No. Mm. So, 49, Hujurat. Introduction and summary can be found on page 1587. Then under it, manners to leader. I said it. Manners to leader and in social life. Mm. Regard a leader as a leader. Do not regard him as one of you. Give him some respect. Mm. So manners to leader and in social life. Avoid rumors, quarrels, suspicion, and spying. Mm. Islam, Islam a privilege. This is repeated again that Islam is, I've forgotten the word. Islam a privilege. Uh, Text and notes can be found on page 1588 to 1595, and that will be signed 1 to 1 8, 1 to 18. Mhm. We are told Islam is a blessing, and here we are told Islam is a privilege. It means that blessing is a privilege. Mhm. That's the word blessing I forgot to mention. We go to the next Surah 59, Surah to Kaf. And Kaf, I know, is an abbreviated letter 50. Yes, Kaf, abbreviated letter. And in English, it's spelled Kaaf. Um, Introduction and summary will be found on page 1596. Hmm. Under it, Revelation confirms the signs in nature and history. So, signs repeated again. We don't joke with signs of God. The signs come always, almost every day, but people try to give scientific explanations to it. It is only when they fail totally before they realize that they are signs from God. God is great. Allahu Akbar. Mm. So Revelation confirms the signs in nature and history. Semicolon. Man's record will confront him at judgment. Text and notes will be found on pages 1597 to 1603, and that will be sign 1 to sign 29 inclusive. Under it, vision of judgment, semicolon, patience, comma, prayer and praise. Prayer and praise. Yes, our Christian brothers praise God a lot in their own way. But here with the people who follow Quran, the praises are all in the Quran. God has taught us how to praise Him in the Quran. So, patience, prayer, and praise. Text and notes will be found in Science 30 to 45, and that will be pages 1603 to 1607. We go to the next chapter, and that is Surah Al-Zariyat. Surah Al-Zariyat 51. Surah Al-Zariyat, winds that scatter. Surah Al-Zariyat is winds that scatter. Al-Zariyat 51. Introduction and summary will be found on page 1608. Under it, the signs of God are various, or if you like, diverse. The signs of God are various. This is a repetition. The signs of God are various, and His truth and promise are sure and stable. They don't waver. It's not like you want to do something, you, you say it, and the following day your mind says this, then you change. No. Here we are told that the signs of God are various, and His truth and promise are sure and stable. Text and notes will be found in Psalms 1 to 23 on pages 1609 to 1613. Under it, signs were given for introduction Pardon me. Signs were given for instruction. I said introduction. Pardon me. Hmm? Sometimes I can be crazy. May God forgive me for that, for saying that. Signs were given for instruction to people in the past, semicolon. So is a reminder being sent to you for your profit. Hmm? Text and notes, hmm? And then another text and notes bracketed, put together. The two text and notes, hmm? Will be found in Science 24 to Science 60. That is pages 1613 to 1621. Hmm. We go to the next sign, 52, Atur. Atur, if I'm not mistaken, is a mountain or hill. Atur, let me confirm. Yes, Atur, the mount. 52, Atur means the mount. Atur means the mount. Uh, oh, Introduction and summary will be found in page one. Sorry, it will be found on page 1622. I think that's all for our two. Mm. We are getting the chapters are getting shorter and shorter and shorter as we move from chapter two. Of course, chapter one being just an opening prayer. So as we move from chapter two, the chapters get shorter, mm, until we get to ones that are convenient for prayer for everybody. And so we stop at Atur, which is the mount. Uh, Introduction of summary 1622. And that's all. We shall halt here. When we come back, we shall be going to Surah 22. Oh, no, 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 no. Atur is still there. Sorry. We haven't finished with Atur. Mm. So Atur continued on the next page. Mm. All acts, good or ill, have inevitable consequences. Semicolon. Judgment must come. Semicolon. Judgment must come. Like it or not. Semicolon. Praise and serve God. Text and notes will be found on pages 1623 to 1634. And that will be signs 1 to 49 of chapter 52, which is a tool. We shall end here. When we come back in our next video, God willing, we shall go to the next chapter, which is An-Najmo. And An-Najmo, I think, is the stars. Hmm. An-Najmo. Yes, An-Najmo, the star. Hmm. That's where we will begin in our next video. Thank you very much. God be with you all. Illa lakai. Bye bye. Au revoir.